lonely. I have nobody for my own. I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. I'm so lonely.
Yo.
How appropriate.
Here. Goes out to all my players out
Come
there.
on, Akon. Bring it home for me while I work.
That got that one good girl, dog, that's always been there, man. Like, took all the bullshit. But then one day she can't take it no more and decided to leave. Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night and I noticed my girl wasn't by my side. Could've sworn I was dreaming, for her I was fiending, so I had to take a little ride. Backtracking on these few years, trying to figure out what I do to make it go bad. Cause ever since my girl left me, my whole life came crashing and I'm so lonely. Mr. Lonely, I have nobody.
Oh, damn,
girl. So lonely. Mr. Lonely, I have nobody to call my own girl. Can't believe I had a girl like you when I...
All right, let's do it. Let's try. All right, welcome to Inside the Numbers, or Between the Numbers. It's Between the Numbers. All right, look, you're going to work with me today. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little work session. If you throw your questions in the comment section, I will answer them the best of my ability. All right, so we have 2-3 days of stuff that we're going to drip out, waiting on Barnes to go ahead and send a quote. Obviously, the big thing today is that the Supreme Court struck down Donald Trump's tariffs because Howard Lutnick, who lied about being in the Epstein files and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, gave Donald Trump the advice to use tariffs in a way that were constitutionally questionable. He made a fortune off of that ruling today, him and his family. The country got screwed, and all the investment and stuff as of right now obviously is in the wind. Now, there are other things that Donald Trump can do, and one of the things that is a legal way for Donald Trump to get what he wants, we actually pulled. And that's what we're going to go over a little bit today. And I'm going to put out a press release with it. We did a whole bunch of other stuff. Look, we have to discuss the elephant in the room here. And that is, if I could bring it up real quick, that is, of course, should I put it into let's put it into an image so it doesn't interrupt my screen share here. That is, of course, the poll out on Real Clear Politics. Let's look for a second based on the stupidity that I am seeing online. It's amazing how human beings can convince themselves of the most ridiculous, nonsensical, asinine things in order to prevent themselves from shattering their worldview. All right? The right is doing it now. The left has been doing it for most of the Trump era, but the right is definitely doing it now. All right? This is the Real Clear Politics average for Donald Trump's approval rating. I told you over the weekend, locals, you know, the responses were abysmal. He's quite frankly lucky he ended up at 42%. I'm not kidding. It's that bad. For those who are on locals, and I shared it with, of course, everybody has it now. You can go through it. Let me just put this out there, and I'm not doing this to like hurt anybody's feelings or like call anybody out. But the fact of the matter is, the very poll at the top of that landed exactly on the Real Clear Politics average. Somebody I know who's not like a statistician sent me something because he was trying to figure out what are the odds, that I'm wrong. And what are the odds, considering all the other data that's being collected out there, that other people are right? It's ridiculous. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody here or go over anything, but the fact of the matter is that's called trend setting, ending up exactly where the approval, where it makes the consensus. And the odds that I'm wrong, for you to convince yourself of that, you really should go seek like help. All right. I'm like over this. Republicans are losing, and they're losing badly, and Trump's approval is cratering for a reason. We've been talking about the reasons. We've been talking about them for damn near 6-7 months now. Since before the holidays, well before. Since last spring when I told you danger, 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 and people didn't listen. One thing after the other. From the mishandling of the Epstein files to the worst thing you could possibly do, which is pivot and bomb Iran after that, to the continuing mishandling of the Epstein files, to spending the entire summer with your schedule filled with Israel and Iran, when everyone in the country, 55 to 60%, were saying they didn't want you to do that. They wanted you to focus on domestic affairs. The one domestic affair that did get a lot of attention was how ICE was carrying out deportations, which are still majority supported in this country. They don't like how ICE was carrying out those deportations. There was hundreds of thousands of interviews conducted for the administration, and some separately, privately, focus groups in, I think, 16 states, all for nothing, because the advice wasn't taken and they paid a steep political price. And honestly, it doesn't even matter. I can dumb it all down right now. There are two things off the bat that caused them to lose the narrative with ICE. First of all, they were distracted with foreign policy nonsense, and they didn't realize they were losing the narrative. They had immigration on lock. They had deportations on lock, and they got distracted. They took their eye off the prize, and the Democrats turned it around. They had for 5 months the narrative all to themselves. If you watched it, nobody does on the right. They're in a bubble, just like the left is in a bubble now. But if you were watching anything on CNN or MSNBC, all you heard about was Jeffrey Epstein and how the ICE deportations were being handled. One, and the number one thing that we recommended, take the fucking masks off. You look like stormtroopers. You were easily being painted as Nazis, like these robot Nazis who were coming into communities and stripping children out of their mother's arms. It doesn't matter if most of it wasn't true. You played right into their hands. Scott was drugged through the streets of Iraq. He wasn't allowed to wear a mask, and his face was on a bunch of cards passed around by the enemy because he was a Navy SEAL. Green Berets had to deal with the same thing. Kill these people, give me the head of this American, and you will be rewarded insanely. Scott didn't get the benefit of a mask, and he was in a foreign country. Second, this excuse that the left would dox people was ridiculous anyway. Here's the dirty little secret. The elected Democratic officials in local areas were doxing ICE agents. There wasn't left-wing protesters in the streets with sophisticated facial recognition software guys hoping to catch a glimpse of somebody so they could run it through the database of DMV. Are you stupid? Honestly, are you stupid? The reason they didn't tell you that is because nobody had the balls to go after the Democrats who were doing this. Effectively, traitors. Anyway, here we go. This is absolutely right. 100%. And not to put down any of my friends or competitors, but the fact is you can go to our crosstabs and you will find nobody. We are second to none with the amount of transparency and demographic data that we offer. If you have half a brain, you can reverse engineer much of our methodology, even though I lay out as much as I possibly can without risking people stealing some of our proprietary information. Age detail, age by sex, race detail, race by sex, generation, party detail, party by sex, ideology, Democrat identification, Republican identification, independent identification, education, non-college, college, education by sex, education by race, income, employment, union type, marital, parental, military veteran, religion detail, evangelical by race, area, division, region. Can I go on? Certainty to vote, likely to vote, voter enthusiasm, likely voters versus unlikely voters. Nobody else gives you this shit. This is like an exit poll layout on steroids. And we're the only ones who can do that because we're the only ones who oversample subgroups the way that we do. so they can be properly represented and we can reflect their true opinion. You have Hispanic support in the 40s or 50s for Donald Trump right now in approval rating. It almost certainly is because your Hispanic share is 70% male. Do you have enough in that subgroup in order to make sure that that is properly calibrated? Do you do post-stratification? Get the fuck out of here. You don't. Polls are done and conducted as cheap as possible. We don't do that. We pay for the rest of it out of our own pocket so people can see shit like that. You have any idea how impossible it is to fudge that and then land right at the tip of the trend? Give me a break. We are right. Democrats are kicking Republicans' asses right now. And by the way, look at all the reports in Axios. Look at all the reports in Fox News. Look at all the reports in the Wall Street. You're being gaslit. If you're a Republican and you think all's good and the people's pundit is going to cause you to lose, you're delusional. Go seek help. Get a fucking therapist. All right? And by the way, if you think Jesus Christ came down from the sky and told you that you were born to save a foreign nation, get fucking lithium. And you're a heretic, by the way. Because that's not what... Yeah. Jesus, this is the people who attack me. These are the people who attack. This is unbelievable. Listen to the stupidity of what I just said. Jesus lived under Roman occupation. Yet all of a sudden now, he threw away, he's abandoned the turn the other cheek philosophy? For who? Miriam Adelson? Fangul. All right? Get out of here. Let's get to it. I'm going to look at this with you right now. What we're going to do is very simple. As we put out these results, we will amend the crosstab. I am most interested at this point in how, and I'm not going to show you all of it. I'm just not, okay? Because some of them are going to drip out. Yeah, we did. It's going to be cool. We did favorabilities for social media and media influencers and personalities. As you can see right there, we did do Vance versus Newsom versus Massey. We did them with and without leaners. There's your food freedoms right here. All right. There's medical freedoms, financial freedoms, and of course, personal political freedoms. We have a lot of cool stuff that we're going to get out. If you want, we could just quickly go over some of this stuff right now. Right. And I do. Looks like I got the quote from Robert, which is awesome. Let me see what it is. I'm not a lawyer, so I thought it would be a good idea if we're going to put out the results. Oh, this is great. I don't think he'd mind. Let me read you what Barnes's quote is going into before the press release goes out. The only way to enforce President Trump's tariffs is congressional approval after the SCOTUS decision. Good news is that the public overwhelmingly backs our traditional American approach since the founders, ending the individual income tax on 90% of Americans, replaced by a 20% tariff on foreign goods. That would be revenue neutral and boost Trump's industrial policy priorities. That is the answer here. Okay? That is the answer. The problem that I think, and we'll put it out and people can digest it, but that absolutely is the answer to help Trump advance Trump's actual real agenda that he ran on, not the one that he's been, giving to donors for 6 months. That's the way to go. The problem is, and this is why I think soon we're going to start to have commentary on why I think the window for Republicans to complete the realignment, which is a populist realignment, is basically all but closed. All right. I think that wise personalities on the left, Democrats on the left, they saw the crack in MAGA early. And they saw and I would say more, they don't think about MAGA like hardcore, partisan Republicans. That's not MAGA. That's why, let me let you all in on a little secret. That's why other pollsters can't poll MAGA as good as I can. That's why. They're not Republicans like that. Let me just tell Laura, she's got a text. On stream. Okay. She didn't know exactly when I was going on. But that's why they can't do it, because they don't understand what the MAGA coalition looks like. How much of it is actually orphan Democrats? How much of it is actually what Bannon calls like the MAGA indies, right? How much of it is Trump or bust only? And by the way, of that, how much of that is Republican? How much of that is independent or not partisan really at all? Because most independents lean. And then how much of it, by the way, can you count on voting for you in a state like Pennsylvania? Because Donald Trump got 14% of the Democratic male vote in the state of Pennsylvania. That's why. Anywho, Democrats saw this crack. They saw this fissure early, and they saw it as an opportunity. And they have been longing to bring back the anti-war populist left. But their party has been controlled by corporatists and basically fascists. That's what fascism is, right? So Democrats rebrand everything, and socialism is now democratic socialism, and fascism, as its actual economic definition stands, is not fascism. That's what Republicans are, because they don't want illegals in the country. It's just ridiculous. It's retarded. That's not the real definition of fascism. But the real definition is what now Democrats refer to as corporatism. It's the veneer of a private sector when really big government is telling the private sector what to do. That's fascism. All right. So, and they control labor, they control capital, etc. They're using the fissure in Trump, what Trump's doing, the fissure created by what Trump's doing, and the mishandling things like the Epstein files, which implicates them. Of course it does. Trump should have come out looking like a peach with this, but he didn't, because he chose to cover up for it, or that's what the country thinks, which you will see tomorrow. But that's what the country believes, because that's how he mishandled this situation. And Howard Lutnick, who just made out like a bandit on the tariff decision, is in there. It just, guys, if you can't see why this looks ugly to everyone who's not a partisan Trump supporter, and a deluded partisan Trump supporter, then you need to open your eyes. Believe me when I tell you, it's not us, it's you. In any event, yeah, that's good. I like that. In any event, they're going to take this now. They're going to run with this. They have this opportunity and they're going to do it. And they're using the Epstein thing to purge that corporatist wing. Has always been their plan. It's working. I'm not saying it's going to be authentic. That's not the point. The point is people believe it. People are believing it. It's working. You'll see. We tested it without telling people who said what. The Democratic message right now is stomping the Republican message, because Republicans have lost their credibility with the voters. And that includes Donald Trump. And I never thought I would say this. People could have hated what he was doing, couldn't stand him personally, whatever it may be, but they always thought he was authentic. They always thought he did, whether it was foolish or not, he cared about them. That has been altered. And I think altered forever. I don't know. At this point, you get all these calls now. Nobody wanted to listen 6 months ago. I'm getting all these calls now. How do we fix it? How do we fix it? You want to come in and talk about it? Well, what do you want? You want a silver bullet? Because the werewolf's at the door? I don't have one. Nobody does. And starting a war in Iran after this, guys, my God. Which party is trusted more to keep us out of wars? Democrats. The reason why Barnes and I, Democrats by 8. The reason why we asked this is because if you had seen this show last year, you would know the margin of who people trust to keep them out of wars is highly predictive of the margin of the eventual winner. That's true in statewide races. That's true in the national popular vote. It was the first sign of danger for Hillary Clinton in the Rust Belt states when we asked in 2016, who do you think is more likely to keep us out of a war? Who do you trust more to keep us out of war? That was the first sign of danger for her. And by the way, in 2020, it was the first sign of danger for Donald Trump. He was behind Joe Biden by 2-3 points in the state of Michigan. He was behind Joe Biden by 13 points in the state of Minnesota. How'd it work out? It was almost identical to the actual vote share. And in Pennsylvania, he was down 1. Fast forward to 24, you'll see the same thing. In Michigan, who do you trust more to keep you out of war? Trump by 2. How much did Trump win the state of Michigan by, ladies and gentlemen? In Pennsylvania, who do you trust to keep us out of war in Pennsylvania? Trump by 3. Almost identical. In Ohio, Trump by like 15. In Iowa, Trump by like 12, 15. It's highly, highly predictive. There are people in Washington, D.C. right now who know I'm right, by the way. Only the clapping seals and the gaslighters and the glazers are pretending like I'm not right on the money here. Everybody knows I am. All right, so just cut the shit. Everyone in D.C. knows. They know they're down badly. They know their approval rating sucks. And then it's like they think, oh, starting a war is actually a way to cause a rally around the flag effect. And what do we have to lose? Because the numbers are so bad, I don't know how to fix them anyway. 70% stay out of foreign wars. Look at, for instance, a group like 18 to 29-year-old women. Look even at men 18 to 29. Guys, it's almost 80% who say it's important to keep us out of foreign wars. Almost 80% among men 18 to 29. This is not negotiable. This is not up for debate. You stupid little worded, do you support an attack on Iran? Doesn't get to true sentiment. Look at what happened today with GDP, which is what I told the WH today. Nice GDP number. Let me explain how this will work. Even if you get a rally around the flag, which you won't, but even if you do, that shitty GDP number is going to come in way below expectations, and then the voters are going to sit home and say, wait a minute, what the fuck are we doing in Iran? What about me? The economy is not heating up as you promised it would. They hung their entire strategy on that GDP number, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not. Guess what? Quarterly GDP after the fact now won't matter. Too late. Too late. Voters aren't stupid. I listen when voters tell us what they think about the economy. I listen because they tend to forecast what actually happens, right? There's like reality versus rhetoric, as the great Mark Penn always said, and reality always wins. Never ignore voters. I cannot believe 10 years of the Trump era, Democrats got their asses kicked by ignoring and lost their historic coalition. They had to build one from scratch. They lost it. I know what she wants. Anyway, let's take a look at this real quick. And let me show you Trump's approval rating real quick with some key groups, which I think is very, very important. Look at women 18 to 29 who we just brought up. Strongly disapprove 51.1. It's worth noting that this age group actually had a slightly positive approval rating of Donald Trump as recently as February and March. This was not inevitable. This was because they did not listen to them. End of story. I mean, it really is that simple. All right. All right. I'm trying to see what she says here. Hold, let me just call her back real quick. We can all talk to Laura. All right, so there it is. Let's add now the tariff question and see how it's going. Hey, are you back by now? Are you? How? I just got the notification. That's why I'm like streaming, but I literally stopped to call you back because I just got the notification that it must be in the radius. You know what I mean? How far are you at? Oh no, it says there's a substituted bus, so the bus visibility may not be right. Hold on, guys. Everybody want to say hello to Laura? We're just trying to figure out because they substituted ours. Say it again. Hey, everybody. Yeah, they substituted the bus, so I don't know if that's right. And you know how sometimes substituted buses are late? I mean, he can walk his little booger butt, but I just don't like it, I know. Well, yeah, don't do that. But okay. Well, I mean, You're right there. If you're by the fuel market, either way, you're going to scoop them before you. Yeah. Okay. All right. I love you. I'll see you in a few, like 2 minutes. Right. All right. See you in a little bit. I don't want to leave these guys hanging. Love you too. Bye. Bye. All right. We just wanted to make sure he's still little. And it's like, I'm all for independence, but he's only 6. It's not a long way to walk. And when I was 6, I was walking through friggin' the ghetto, dude. But, the world has changed, plus I don't want to have to murder someone because they do something stupid and touch my child, so she's close though. I was going to tell you guys, we're about to go for a walk. I would have literally grabbed that camera, put it on my thing, and we were about to go for a walk. All right, but we don't have to. All right, so some of these things that matter here, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I do want to get to questions and I do want to start to throw some of the other stuff in, but Donald Trump is in real bad shape when it comes to issues. Even now, he's underwater on immigration. Let's go to college, non-college. I think this is a pretty good one to start with. Look at his non-college. We can even go by non-college by race again, which is important, guys. Look, non-white, non-college, the guy's not even cracking 50% approval. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, very, very terrible. There's some weirdness going on with postgrads, which you can see if you go to education, which I'm not surprised by. They're still overwhelmingly voting for Democrats, as I will show you right here. Boom. All right. If we do college to non-college, it's Republicans. It's probably a smaller margin than you'd expect, but Republicans did do a little bit better in 2022 against postgrads. But overall, they're winning the college, and Democrats are even winning the non-college. In fact, if we go by education by race, Republicans aren't winning any major group right now. They're getting absolutely thrashed. If you non-college white, yes, they're winning that by a rock solid 8 points. They need to win that by 30 to 35. 32 is really what we've been seeing with Trump. But the difference is Trump drags these people out, or did. He was, like a turnout the vote machine. If you go to likelihood to vote right now, you will see that they are very uninterested in voting. The only other group that's less interested in voting is the 63.2. Hang on one second. Oh, quiet. What's up, buddy? Dad's actually live. You want to say hello? Oh, I'm Mommy's gonna be very upset. Let's go tell Mommy that you're cool. Come on, you want to come say hello to everybody? I love your vest. Give me a huggy. Come on, man. All right, I'm holding. Just don't keep me holding too long because I need my hugs. All right, worse even, guys, is voter enthusiasm. Non-college, non-white is in the doldrums, but non-college white is also in the doldrums. Obviously, you see whites that have a college degree, even college non-white, basically on parity. Why? Because that's Democrat. That's the difference between, unfortunately, between Republicans and Democrats. If you're a Republican, it's not good. If we go to party, you'll see it. Enthusiasm here, absolutely shitty. Republicans only 42%. You want to have your extremely enthusiastic to be, poor Laura's flipping out. I got him. You want to have your extremely enthusiastic at least 50%. We're getting closer and closer by election time. Historically, you want to see extremely at 50 or greater. Democrats are already there, and their very is on par with Republicans. You want to say hello?
Hello.
Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
How was your day?
Good.
What'd you learn about? Don't you tell me everything again.
I don't know.
Look, we match. Don't take those shorts. Look at that. We're twinning it. I got to get a black shirt on and we'd be twinning. Twinning. High five. Sweet. Your shirt is better than mine, though. Is that, where'd you get this? Is this Old Navy? Old Navy. Old Navy. Awesome shirt. All right. So, I'm sorry. I'm going all over the place here. I know. But you guys see the point. It's not good. When you look at approval rating, by the way, by party, you'll see Trump's approval rating is damn near 2 in 10 that disapprove among his own party. It's bad. And I know what other polls say. I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, all I can do is tell you what ours shows. And unless someone has a track record like me, they can kiss my rosy red ass. You know what I mean? Independent is even worse. Here's the real problem here. Equally Aligned was a group that Donald Trump did extremely well with. These are like true independents. These guys are true independents too, but there's something else. They say I share little in common with either, so they really don't like either party. And Donald Trump was very strong with these two groups compared to other Republicans. And right now, unfortunately, we're just not seeing that. Interestingly, he's only at 30.2 strongly approve among those who are independents who lean Republican. And you can see there's a lot less of them now. It's been trending down. That's true. And unfortunately, it is what it is. Republicans are well below 50% now. We're at 46% who say they strongly approve. This is going to kill you when you get to the generic ballot. The difference with Trump and Biden is that with Biden, his base never cracked like this. And the reason why is because Biden didn't betray his voters. Like there's no other way to put it. Biden didn't say, I'm going to keep us out of foreign wars, an issue that so many of his coalition voters cared about, and then started a fucking foreign war. All right. I mean, they don't care about that stuff. If I was to think of an equivalent, it would have to be something like, I'm going to do a Green New Scam bill. And then Biden passes a bill for oil companies. All right. He didn't. He passed a Green New Scam. All right. So you may not like it. You may not agree with it, but understand that's what's going on. All right. Democrats are winning the crossover vote 2-1, and they have a massive lead with independents. All right. I'm just trying to give you guys the lay of the land here. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. In the meantime, let's go back to all. Let's go back, put this down to all. I know this will slow it down. And let's look at how Republicans, which is going to be part of the press release we put out here in a little bit. Let's look at how Republicans look at this tariff situation. All right. And where are you? Where are you? There it is. Eliminate and replace the income tax on households making less than $200K with a 20% tariff on foreign goods. Now, what you'll see is that there are Democrats who, read my lips, no new taxes. Paul's watching. What you'll see is, of course, that there are Democrats who dislike this idea, but you can see clear as day, let's go by party, that this is a popular proposal. Okay, you can see it. It's got majority, basically just under majority support. There's a ton of unsure, but it really is about what independents and your base think. All right, and they're positive there, right? So you're in positive territory. Even look, Democrats themselves aren't totally opposed to it. They just, like independents, are a little bit unsure about maybe what it means. And believe me, the prompt is much bigger. And we can show that when we go over this a little bit more. But the fact of the matter is, they're laid out what has long been a Trump solution, but he hasn't been able to get Congress to do it. And that's because, going back to the realignment thing, Congress has killed Donald Trump's ability to complete the realignment. Then Trump killed his own ability to complete the realignment. So you can't just keep blaming Republican senators and Republicans in Congress. Like, at some point, you have to also, hold Trump accountable for his own decisions. And, you can't just keep saying, oh, someone gave him bad advice. Oh, John Thune won't do it. Well, guess what? Who backed John Thune? Because Rick Scott would do this. Rick Scott would push this. Who backed John Thune for majority leader? Who did that? That would be Donald Trump.
I'm going to get her son.
Don't forget what's got to go in the fridge and what doesn't.
I did.
Okay. You hungry at all?
What do you want to do?
What about our daughter? Does she have to go to dance?
No. Today's Friday.
So grab something after you get our son. Patron? I don't want that either. You know what I really want? I can see it on your face. I want you and I to go on a date because we didn't get a Valentine's together. And these kids can order a pizza or something for all I care. Yeah. Amen, girl. We didn't get to go away for our anniversary. 20-year anniversary. They'll survive, baby. Although he is so cute. You hear the little man? He is so cute. Hey, buddy. Me first.
Me
You first? No, me first.
first.
Nah.
Me first.
Can you get your hair combed? What happened to your head at the playground? Look at your hair in the camera. Look at it.
Me first.
Get out of here, boy. He loves the camera, Laura, boy. That kid loves the screen. Just like his daddy. No. Go with mommy real quick. Daddy's gotta do this, okay? Boy, the kid will hog the screen if I let him. He's certainly better to look at than me. But what are you gonna do? You're stuck with me. All right, it's 3:43. So there it is. And I'm gonna put this up. We're also gonna put up a bunch of other stuff. Let's take a look though. Let's look at some of this. I'm curious whether socialists. Oh, what time is it? 3:43. This is something I want to go over. Look at this. Even Democratic socialists are positive on this. 1 in 5 don't know, but I know it's tough for you guys to see. But 45% of Democratic socialists say that they support this. About 37% say they do not. So it's positive among, oh my God, socialists support it overwhelmingly. So if Democrats just ideas socialist and that's it, 58% do support it. Before I go ahead, actually, I don't want to hit save on this yet because I want to put it in the correct order. There's something else I want to show you guys because I'm tired of this. Okay. I know I'm running out of time here. I wanted to show you the tariff thing. There you go. There's Donald Trump's solution to the problem that he just did. John Thune doesn't want to do it. Guess what? Run against John Thune. Trump's major problem is that he came in and played ball again. I want to be friends with everybody. He should have been friends with Rick Scott. He should have given Rick Scott, and I'm not saying Rick Scott would have been the perfect majority leader, but Rick Scott has less IOUs. The longer you stay in that town, the more IOUs that racked up against you. And John Thune was Mitch McConnell's bosom buddy bitch and runner-up who was just saddled with all of these favors that he owed people from donors and foreign interests that don't align with the coalition that elected Trump president. Rick Scott's interests, though not perfect, far more aligned with that. That was Donald Trump's first big mistake. And he's been living with it ever since. That's why in order to get a bill through, he's got to bomb a foreign country. And I'm not saying Rick Scott isn't pro-Israel. He takes a lot of money from Jewish interests. And he is pro-Israel. But I'm saying he would have been more MAGA than this. All right. Did I play this clip? I didn't. I know that Bannon played it. 1 second. I want you to play. In case you didn't see. Oh, look, I'm the first one that pops up when I search that. Okay. This month, when I say it came down a tick, a hair. Look, what did he delete it? Did this little twerp delete this? Because oh man, I had to actually find it from, yeah, he deleted his own video. You have got to be joking me. Does anybody else see it? If you know what I'm talking about, it's gone. All I see are reports from people. Wow. He did this. Wow. There's me. I see the video of me. Oh, I got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. I don't want to do it like this. Let's download it so I can put it up in here. And then I want to show you what we've been seeing. And I'm going to put up because I'm sick of this BS. I don't like lying like this. I know what Harry's doing. He's cherry picking stuff. He's got, certain polls he puts up that are in the cool club, not because they're right, but because they're pushing a narrative or try to hide inconvenient truths from people. And I don't like it. This is something that pisses me off beyond basically everything. Let me play this clip and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to make this crosstab bigger so we can all look at it. And you can see why what he says is such bullshit.
From that special election, that Democratic primary in the 11th district in New Jersey, speak to a larger point within.
All right. The Democratic socialists beat the more moderate Democrats, supposedly moderate Democrat in that primary. That's what he was referring to, just to give you a heads up.
In the Democratic Party, and that is that the far left is significantly more powerful than they once were. This sort of gives the game away here. Democrats who identify as very liberal or conservative. You know, there used to be a lot of conservative Democrats, right? Back in 1999, 26% of Democrats self-identified as conservative. Just 5% said that they were very liberal. It was a smidgen, a smidgen, a smidgen. Now that far left has gained considerably in power. Look at this. Now we're talking about a fifth of Democrats. 21% say they're very liberal. That conservative part of the Democratic Party, adios amigos, goodbye, just 8%. And when you combine the 21% who are very liberal with those who say that they're somewhat liberal, we're talking about 3 in 5 Democrats who identify as either somewhat liberal or very liberal, with the very liberals a much larger portion of the party. The far left, which used to just be a smidgen within the Democratic Party, has gained considerable power, as you saw in New Jersey's 11th district.
What about Democratic socialists, like the likes of, you've got Bernie Sanders and or Zoran Mandani here in New York City? Where does that line up?
Okay, so on a separate question where you essentially, CNN asked this last year, which was, okay, Democrats who think of themselves as democratic socialists, among all Democrats, including those independents who lean towards the Democratic Party, look at this. We're talking about a third of all Democrats who identify as democratic socialists. Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mandani are not alone. They are a considerable part of the Democratic base at this point.
Considerable is not true. That is not true. What he just said about them rising and becoming more and more and having more power, yes. He's understating it. He knows he's understating it. This isn't a stupid guy. He's saying it so he can act like he's credible and so he can act like he talked about it, and that's it. But he's understating it on purpose, and he fucking knows it. Here is, we are the first pollster, I think, to ever ask this. And we asked it back when Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders were facing, and there were others, of course. Pete Buttigieg was competitive in Iowa and New Hampshire. But we were asking, especially in Super Tuesday states, because we wanted to know two things. How radical was the Democratic Party? And would they be able to do what Republicans did in 2016, which is basically declare their independence from the media and their party and nominate the person that they really wanted? And they really wanted Bernie Sanders. They agreed with Bernie Sanders. They were Democratic Socialists. At that time, though, it was only about a third to 4 in 10, where Harry is claiming it is now. Fast forward 6 years, it is way more than that. Let me just say this as clear as I possibly can, without the hiccups interrupting me. The Democratic Party is a majority socialist party. Not a third, not a quarter. It is a majority socialist party. A majority alone identifies as with democratic socialism, and anywhere on a given month between 5 and 10%, an additional 5 or 10% will identify as a straight up socialist. Here is Democrat identification this month. A little bit lower. Usually it's like 55 who say that they're democratic socialists, and another 5 that say that they're straight up socialists. Just under 6 in 10. Last month it was 62. So it's bobbing back and forth within the sampling era, but the overall trend is constantly ticking up. Traditional liberalism usually ends up anywhere between 12 and 17%, and the average over the last 6 months has been just under 15, 14.6. The unsure, no opinion, being a quarter. Well, that's cute, but from doing this with Republican identification, we have this nifty little way of figuring out how those people really view the world. And how do we do it? Based on their answers to other questions, we'll compare what socialists say or what democratic socialists say against traditional liberals. And the unsure, no opinion, you may be unsurprised, tends to side more with democratic socialists. This is a socialist party. And Harry Enten knows that they're headed into a midterm and they're about to kick Republicans' asses. The last thing he wants the country to find out is that they're about to hand the Congress over to a bunch of radical socialists, that this is not the party anymore that you remember. He's doing it on purpose. the Enton aggregate. He can take the Enton aggregate and stick it right up his stupid ass. He wasn't accurate in any election I've ever seen Harry give his forecast for, his opinions about. The guy has always been a left-wing hack. He's hiding the more accurate pollsters. If you're doing a topic on your show like this one, don't you think that it's relevant to have the pollster included that has asked this question long before any of his stupid friends? Don't you think if you're going to talk about MAGA every day and string them along and gaslight them, you should include conversations about the findings from the pollster who has demonstrated the best, the most competent ability to poll MAGA? Instead, you're going to just cherry pick one of your left-wing friends who can't poll to save their ass? It's a scam. These stupid little segments about the Quinnipiac poll. Look how unfavorable the Democratic Party is. You had that do you, Bill Mitchell, in 2025. You're grifters. You're gaslighters. You're letting a left-winger gaslight you into complacency. Those numbers were horrible in 25, yet they kicked your ass. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. While we're here, let me just add something really quickly. I want to show you Republican identification. MAGA continues to suffer. Okay? There's MAGA, which are highlighted right there. Do you consider yourself, more specifically, do you identify with America First Republicanism or traditional Republicanism? Again, the pollster who has been asking this longer than anybody else. We have been asking this since the tracking poll in 2016. Once upon a time, that number was 65%. It is now 43%, and traditional Republicanism has been resurrected like Lazarus and is now back to 39%. So MAGA is losing. I hate to, winning. Yeah, okay. You're losing at courts, you're losing in the public opinion, you're losing in the court of public opinion, and you are flatly losing as far as a movement goes. For a movement to win, you need to increase your ranks. Your ranks are shrinking. And the other pollsters that you like to cherry pick, they're only demonstrating to you that you're in the middle of purification through subtraction. All of those MAGA independents now identify as nothing. I'm an independent. Okay, well, what kind of independent are you? Neither. I don't lean towards either one of those bastards. That's where they are now. And then you have some who just flatly changed their mind. They went to unsure, or they went back to traditional Republican. It has shrunk as a share of the overall electorate. That is the definition of losing. Hate to break it to you. I mean, look, guys, my job is not to sit here and pat people on their heads and tell them everything's going to be all right. My job is to tell people the truth. That's my job. All right? If you want gaslight bullshit, then go watch the last, Trump cheerleader show. That's not what I do over here. I told you they were going to lose in 18. They lost in 18. I told you 2020, going down that road with COVID would cost him his presidency. That is what happened. And I told you Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell were sabotaging their own candidates in 22 because they thought they could win seats in Rhode Island and Connecticut and other ridiculous alternatives so they could feel confident and comfortable in abandoning MAGA candidates all over the map because they didn't want to have to deal with them. And look at what it did. Professional losers. I know. Trump comes out the next day, tweets Bondi did great, might as well punch him in the face. Meanwhile, he knows she didn't do great. This is the frustrating thing. This is the frustrating thing. Stop gaslighting people. You know she didn't do great. He was wigging out. He knew she did horrible. They were reading that tweet of mine where I said Pam Bondi hurt Donald Trump today. And it went berserk. It got 30,000 likes or something. They were reading it. He was flipping out. For people like, oh, Rich's access got cut off, so he's doing bad polls. No, they bother me more than ever. It's just ridiculous. Now, whether or not they listen is another story. Oh, hold on. On stream, give me a hot minute though. Ooh, we may have a solution to all this shit anyway. I played Mr. Lonely on the beginning of the show because it's appropriate. All is right in the universe again. I am the only one who can't be silenced or shut up or bought off, and I am leading trends. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to win it. I'm going to win this fight. And other people are going to crash and burn, unfortunately. And it's sad because a lot of them are good people, but they're setting themselves up to be burned. No amount of money in the short term is worth your integrity, is worth your reputation. Especially not since I have worked so hard. So hard. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's go to, it's 3:59, so I don't want to get like shoved off here without getting some of these questions in. Rich, the realignment window closed. However, leave it to Dems to double down on every single unpopular position with the coalition. Is Tariff their latest attempt at a beta switch for 28? And, you know, that's a really, listen, the only thing that could potentially save Republicans is Democrats' ability to overdo it. The problem is they can't overdo it running. All right. They can only overdo it governing. And what am I trying to tell you here? I'm trying to tell you that there's nothing Republicans can say, like, I love you, JD, but going on Fox News and saying we can't give it back to them because they're crazy, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Right now, this excuse, like this argument, and it's a Mitt Romney argument, it's a weak argument. Oh, there's so much worse. That's just not true in the minds of so many voters now. Read anyone's comments. Go to Dan Bongino's stupid little Rumble show, which is astroturfed and 66% negative in the comments. Go look at it, and you will see. That's how people feel. The time for wondering whether or not my data has been correct about sentiment is over. Look at Texas. It's a full court press. Everybody is there right now because you would talk about who's the real panicking now. They're spending money they should never have to spend trying to get Republicans to vote because they're not voting. And we polled it last night, and the difference between enthusiastic and non-enthusiastic in Texas versus Republicans and Democrats is disgusting. 32% of Republicans said they're extremely enthusiastic. It's more than double for Democrats. Certain to vote, Democrats are ahead in, not by as much, but it doesn't matter. Guys, self-reported likelihood to vote better not make up your likely voter model. If you're, as a pollster, it can't alone because it's not reliable. There are other indicators that are much more reliable. And when you see a huge gap between certainty to vote and enthusiasm, they're lying to you. They're not going to show up. They're not going to show up. Never happened. This is always the case. You look at their vote history and you'll see a bunch of people who maybe voted in 2024 who are saying, yeah, I'm certain to vote. And they will not show up. This happened in 2018, by the way. First time voters in 16 telling every Trump pollster, and you know who they are, or every Trump favorable pollster, I'm coming out to vote. I'm coming out to vote. And they didn't. They didn't. And it's worse now. I'm telling you, it's worse now. There are now more people who strongly disapprove of the job that Donald Trump is doing president than there are people who approve combined. Combined. You understand what I'm saying right now? Just to show you. I'm going to show you. Let me remove this. Stop screen share. I got to put the other one. That's why I hate doing this like this. But anyway, here is, so my point is, it's like Palo is a good, I hear what you're saying. And Tallarico may get actually derailed. I mean, again, leave it to like Democrats to pick Crockett, but Texas is close. And look at primary vote is predictive of general election outcome or underperformances. So right now, if this continues, if that pattern continues, you have to put Texas into the toss-up category. And it doesn't matter if it's Cornyn or Paxton, and Crockett is the nominee versus Tallarica. It just won't even matter. Republicans are not voting. Texas could go. Which I told you, and Barnes told you, months ago while everybody laughed. But Trump won it by 15 points. Yeah, Trump won it by 15 points. Ditto in Ohio, where he won it by over 13. What did Bernie Moreno win Ohio by again? Right. And for those of you who don't know, Bernie Moreno underperformed Donald Trump in Ohio by 10 points. Husted's cooked. They're losing that. Sherrod Brown's going back to the Senate. I hate to pop all of your bubbles. Loser! Better swap him out right now. Him and Vivek. Better find somebody else. Matter of fact, JD, just say, you know what? It's been the honor of my life. I'm running for U.S. Senate again. Which answers the next question by Hightower. You want to know? The smartest thing for him to do? This has been the honor of my life. It's not for me. I'm sure you'll have a great time replacing me. I'm going to go run for the U.S. Senate because John Husted's about to lose my seat. Yep. So there's that. What's up, buddy? Daddy's not done yet. What's up, buddy? You okay?
I have some pancakes.
You just had a chocolate sandwich and you want pancakes?
Yes, I'm still hungry.
How about this? Don't ruin your appetite and Daddy will get you pizza.
Okay.
What do you think? From Mario's? I'm afraid you're going to ruin your appetite. Boy, this kid loves. He can't see above the sticker for the super chat. And he's like,
my appetite, I promise.
okay, so no pancakes then. Because just wait, because I'll get it for you really, really soon. And I don't want, I'll get it quickly. And I don't want you to, if you eat pancakes, you won't eat the pizza. You know?
Yeah, we should put that.
Plus, I got no more protein-infused pancakes, so it would just be garbage. All right?
Could I have one of those, please?
Let Daddy finish his stream, okay?
Please.
And let Daddy finish his stream. I'll figure it out.
Please.
You can't just interrupt me here. You're a little fat porky. You're on porky belly. Give me that belly. Give me that belly. Give me that belly. Give it to me. Hold on. Let Daddy finish, and I'm gonna. All right. Otherwise, I'm gonna eat the belly. Let Daddy finish, and I'll get you pizza. You can chill right there. Stay there. Hang out with me. I'm almost done. Otherwise, I'm gonna eat the belly. All right. Give me a second, okay? All right. Let's get to locals here. A couple of locals ones. Wow. Whoop, whoop. Oh, most of these are just making fun of people. Epstein's buddy Lutnick made a lot of money today. Sure did, Libertarian. Sure did. For those of you who don't know, Howard Lutnick was the one who gave the president the advice to use tariffs outside of national security, and Lutnick bet against the president's policy being ruled constitutional. So not just him, his sons, the family made a fortune. So Howard Lutnick, who was Epstein's friend and lied about being Epstein's friend because he's in the Epstein files, made a fortune. Don't you see how bad that looks to normal people? I don't know what we're debating here. We're not debating. You're in a delusion and you sound like a tard. You sound like a Democrat who's arguing that Donald Trump colluded with Vladimir Putin to steal the 2016 election. You're in that world, brah. Republicans, I'm starting to I hate to say it, but the illusory truth effect, the similarities the left has theirs, which we talked about for years. I would be dishonest if I didn't now point out that the right is doing the same thing. They have their own fantasies and delulus. They are themselves subjected to the illusory truth effect. I'll give you one right now, which is going to piss some of you off, but I'm going to give it to you. Even Christian Zionists from like the late 70s on, because this is a new phenomenon. Christian Zionism was not a widely accepted form of Christianity, belief in Christianity, until a bunch of mega pastors, televangelists who wound up banging their secretaries, by the way, took millions and millions from Likud in the late 70s. True. Sorry. Christian Zionism, as it is taught, the doomsday theology by these pastors, is the right's version of climate change. As the left is consumed by hubris and arrogance enough to believe that they can stop the planet from going through a climate change, which we've been dealing with since life began on the planet, folks. The last ice age was 10,000 years ago. George Carlin famously made fun of it, this whole phenomena, in his stand-up routine. That is the left's version, and the right's version is somehow that they're going to, with a foreign policy, force God's hand. Okay? It's doomsday theology. It's about revelation. The Jews return to the homeland, the temple's rebuilt. That's what Swaggart and Hagee and all of them, Robertson, that's what they all preached in the 70s and 80s. You support this, and you will play a role in God's plan and the return of the Messiah. You're going to tell God when his plan is going, like, you're forcing God's hand? Just like your stupid paper bag ban is going to somehow stop Mother Nature from cycling into the next fucking ice age. This is ridiculous. The Lord himself, by the way, for those on the right, said that I don't even know when that time is. Only my Father does. But have no fear. Hagee and Swaggart and Robertson and Benjamin Netanyahu, they're going to figure it out. They're going to force it. I think you guys read the wrong Bible. Holy shit. Although I will refer you to Matthew. Beware of false prophets who speak in my name. Rich, WTF is JD doing? Is he lost in the Z sauce? He has been reading the tea leaves and noticing all the rats. This admin is corrupt, self-enrichment. I'll get shit over a comment like this as if like I can control the comments. You know? It's like as if, why do you think people are stupid? Why are you pulling the Democrat playbook? You pump out Dan Bongino to lie to everybody. The guy's the personification of their failure and disappointment in you. And your plan is just to continue with bullshit? I feel bad for JD. He's the number 2 guy. There's nothing really... Like, listen, guys, vice presidents aren't that powerful. He can make his case, but if he constantly ends up on the other side of the debate with people who are just constantly aligned, because that's how Washington works. You know, you get all these friends, you look out for each other's self-interests, and you push each other's own corrupt bullshit. And then, like, if there's somebody who's constantly on the other side of the tables arguing against you, you become that person becomes a target. You make them a target. I just feel I feel for the vice president. I will tell you this. I know. I mean, I just spoke about this. The war in Iran, not a good idea. He gets it. I just don't know. And it's funny because there was Axios articles suggesting that JD was the one who was originally in favor of the strikes. Not after they digested the latest round of polling data. Let me just tell you, how many bodies, how many American lives are you willing to sacrifice for a military conflict in Iran for Israel? Do you know what choice won? Zero came in at number 1. 0. There's like, no, I don't know how any other way I could possibly put it. Like, and I'm not even responding to people whose even their last name tells me right away that they took the 7K. Like, I'm not even responding to it. So keep your comments to yourselves. Go fucking live in that country then. Go fucking live there. Join the fucking IDF. Knock yourself out. I'm not telling you what you should and shouldn't believe. Just don't ask my country to engage in wars for you. My people don't want it. It's overwhelming. That's not anti-Semitism. That's not anti-anything. What you're doing is anti-self-government, anti-democracy, anti-republic. Doesn't matter what you want to call it. It's overwhelming. People don't want this shit. You have destroyed an America First administration and probably the movement for your own fucking selfish personal gain. We're not anti-anything. You're supremacists. You put yourself before 330 million people. You couldn't fucking wait for year 2? Now people don't even want to give you year 2. Because you stole year 1. And they're looking at a president who was supposed to save them with no political capital. None. Unlikely to even make it through his term. Idiots. Sick of this shit. I'm sick of even tiptoeing around this shit. These people are more important. The people we speak to are more important than you and your fucking crusade. What about them? Everybody else has representation in DC. Everyone's got some scumbag Mike Davis lobbyists working for them. Everyone's got some scumbag, foreign lobby working for them. Everyone's got that shit. You know who doesn't? The working and average American. They have the public opinion pollster. And now they bought them all except for me off. I'm tired of this being nice bullshit. And I'll tell you another thing, man. Nobody's going to threaten me. I don't react well to threats. You know what you can do with your threats? You can take your threats and you can stick them right up your ass. I will survive. We should use midterm for vote out boomers midterm to vote out the boomers in the House. Yeah, they're going to get wiped. Wiped. At this rate, what? Can I have something? You can't keep coming in, though, because Daddy uses bad language, and I don't want you to hear it. That's banana, bro. That's so good. You owe me a kiss. Not right now. Oh, I love you too, man. You're the best. Who's my little man? Who's my handsome boy? Who's the most handsome little boy in the whole wide world? That's right. Say it with a little feeling next time. Get some confidence. All right. Yeah, I mean, they're. You want to see something funny about this, Gillian? Did anybody notice this about the generic ballot, which I found to be particularly hilarious? Let's not even do the leaners, okay? They pandered to the Fox boomer cons, okay? Oh, I forgot to show you, by the way, the screen. It's okay. I had gotten up the thing to show you. 43% strongly disapprove of the job Donald Trump's doing, 42% approve. So there's like the percentage of people who strongly disapprove is actually 1 point greater than the entire percentage combined of people who strongly and somewhat approve. It's a bad spot, guys. It's a really bad spot. Here's what I find funny as hell about this, Jillian Seed. Pandering to the Fox News boomers and now still losing them. Still losing them anyway. How funny is that? I'm sorry. I can't help it. I think that is just like the bee's knees. They're saying, oh, Rich, maybe you're just wrong because I saw the tip poll and the tip. Yeah, I got a tip for you too. Okay. Look at it. My recalled vote is perfect. It's perfect. Trump won them by 4 points in 2025. Our recalled vote is Trump 4.4 among that age group. The recalled vote, by the way, is Trump 1.2 in this poll. So it's what, 2/10 less Trumpy, 3/10? Give me a break. That isn't moving the needle at all. And that can be explained away by people who are pissed and no longer even want to admit that they voted for Donald Trump. You aren't winning. Republicans aren't winning a single age group if you look by those age buckets. Now, if you break them down by age detail, they are, I believe, winning one, right? The 30 to 39. Nope. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. They're not. By the way, look at this. 18 to 24. Crushed. 51 to 18. Crushed. Retainer. And where is that coming from? Even losing men 18 to 29, although men 18 to 29 is like not that, I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst group for Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump is more popular with 18 to 29s than Republicans are. That's still true. He's underwater, but, you know, I mean, I'm talking about 18 to 29-year-old men. With 18 to 29-year-old women, Trump is getting destroyed. I mean, 51% for Democrats, 18 to 29-year-old women. That's the percent that strongly disapprove of Donald Trump. I mean, so what I'm saying is, Jillian Seed, they sacrificed these people being in the coalition for Fox News boomer cons who listen to bloviating, soon-to-be worm food idiots like Mark Levin, and they don't even keep them anyway. Levin's arguments aren't even, he's not even popular enough to hold the boomers in the coalition. So all you did was sacrifice everybody under 50. And let's pretend for a second that the math that I've explained a million times was not correct. And it is correct, which is to say that you can't win boomers by a large enough margin if you're Republicans to win. They're not enough. All right. So let's pretend like that's not even true. It still wouldn't matter because they're not even winning them, because losers like Mark Levin and others who represent them on Fox News, which they watch religiously, aren't even popular enough to hold these people in the coalition. USA Today was right. Their analysis was right, especially women that age, because look, they said they were swing voters. Not even really. Here's women 65 plus. They are voting Democrat 50 to 39. Women 45 to 64. They are voting Democrat 47 to 36. It's a bloodbath. Oh, look. Republicans are winning men 45 to 64. And a beep. That's all, folks. That's it. Look. Absolutely pathetic. What a waste. What an absolute waste. It's just a waste. It's disgusting. It's just a waste. Please tell me Massey will keep his seat. We're going to pull that real soon. I may pull this weekend. I may pull Thomas Massey's seat this weekend. I'm not kidding. Life of Brian, I tried to talk to. So right now, I'm telling you, Massey, he's getting bombarded by a lot of money. So he did have a big lead. I don't think he has a big lead anymore. I don't know. We're going to poll it though. I imagine it is pretty close. I will tell you this. The last poll that I saw for a while, which was maybe like a month and a half ago, this was private research. It showed Trump's numbers among Republicans like below 70. His favorability was like 68 point something. It was bad. I tried to talk some sense to the RNC, but they kept directing me to the Twitter handle iFun. Nothing's Nothing seems to come through. Oh man. Oh, it's just a joke. It's a total joke. I'm at the point that they will pardon Epstein's girlfriend. Yeah. Oh God. Listen. Roger Stone, $1 million, get her pardoned. Shit'll happen. It's bad. He better save some pardons for his administration and the lobbyists that he goes it up with. I'm serious. I'm not being a dick here. I'm not attacking. It's like, don't get mad at me for talking about it. Get mad at the people who gave me something to talk about. That's what I never understood about that thing with Gail Slater. It's like, oh, well, Gail didn't go about it right. Well, wait a minute. Stop. Why is Gail the problem because of how she did or didn't go about it? And the corrupt, unregistered lobbyists who are fucking over your voters, who are going to get you impeached, themselves, they're going to be prosecuted. Why aren't they the problem? That's when you know that Washington has done their trick. You'll like people that you had like really high hopes for. And they go to Washington and they start using these words and these terms and they start talking like that. And I hate to say it, I am no green in this business. That is always the sign that you're fucked. It's terrible. It's so sad to watch. That's why I don't even want to poll for people anymore. Like, but politicians, I have no interest in polling for them, aspiring or otherwise. I am tired of being betrayed. I'm tired of like watching them just be corrupted in real time. And then call me on a Sunday morning to have a 50-minute conversation about, I hope I didn't let you down. Like, I'm sick of that shit. And you did let me down. But it's not me you got to worry about. There's 70 plus million people who voted for you. I'm just the guy who conveys their opinions. Don't worry about whether you let me down. Worry about them. And by the way, we can't keep going back and forth like this. At some point, somebody has to address them, their needs, their problems. Like, it can't be either George Soros and Miriam Adelson. Like, fuck those two. They're eventually going to have to wait. Democrats get elected, it's George Soros. Republicans get elected, it's like Ken Griffin or Miriam Adelson. Like, it can't always be them. Which is why we have more frequent change in control of Congress, which was the topic of a show we did last week. Right? Last week. Here is a 500-pound gorilla. What is TPUSA or any other money operations doing to help Massey or Dans? Ooh, how could someone with little money help either? Honestly, they need phone bankers. They need knockers. You should go to their website and, if they haven't gotten back to you, sign up for help. Do it again. Sign up again. Like, sometimes campaigns are just not ready to take advantage of the volunteers that sign up on a website or something and they're getting like things together. Do it again. I tell you, man, I'm with you though on TPUSA. Like, let's cut the bullshit. Like, I love Andrew, but Barnes went after him. Let me show you what Barnes said. And then I'll actually show you. Yeah, we have to do this. I'm sorry, but we got to do it. And I love Andrew, guys. I love Andrew. He's my boy. But did I already go this far? Where the hell is? This has got to be it right here. Okay. I'll show you what Barnes said. And then we'll talk about it. Because time out. Okay. Now, of course, Massey, he gets criticized as, well, why didn't you do any of this when Biden was president? I'm not sure that fucking matters. I've called Massey myself a grandstander here and there. I'll use Twitter, so we don't have to go and download anything. Just do it really quick. Who is that? I'll follow her back. I didn't know her. I'll follow her back. Oh, I do know her. I know this. We've met. Co-organizer. Oh, yeah, I remember you, Louisa. Oh, I never forget a face like that. All right. No offense. Well, I'm just saying she's a pretty woman. That's all. My wife's not going to have my testicles over that one. Barnes said, though, and this is what Life of Brian's talking about, to be blunt, the Charlie Kirk 11, show is doing a poor job honoring Charlie's legacy. They are making their critics look prescient. And in other words, what he's saying is, well, let me play the clip, and I think it'll be pretty self-explanatory. And I love Andrew, but he fucked up here, and he fucked up good. All right, here we go.
But listen, there are things happening in the background at the DOJ that we just need to keep our eyes on. And we need to sort of say, listen, the wheels of justice turn slowly sometimes, but they are happening. Okay. And again, I would mention the name Reid Hoffman. You've seen this just this morning that Bill Gates has dropped out of a speaking engagement due to increased scrutiny over the Epstein files. Kathy Rumler has stepped down at Goldman Sachs because of her connections to Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, Andrew, I love you, but I just got to stop right there. All right. The wheels of justice move slow. That's not the message from the White House. The message is move on and shut the fuck up. That's the message. All right. And if you don't shut the fuck up, by the way, then we're going to blah, 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 blah. It depends on who you are. But the message to the voter is move on and shut up. Right. That is the message. And while I understand 100% what he's saying about the wheels of justice move slowly and we don't know what's going on, the fact of the matter is, which I will show you soon, nobody trusts the FBI. It doesn't matter. Kash Patel is the head of the FBI now. Nobody cares. Nobody trusts the FBI. Nobody trusts the FBI. Nobody trusts the CIA. It doesn't matter if Trump's appointees are now, supposedly in charge of it, because that's another thing. Nobody actually believes that Kash Patel is in charge of the FBI. Nobody believes it. All right. I mean, it's just ludicrous. You're asking people to have a complete 180. A complete 180. 45, 50. Let's go to Republicans. Republican identification. All of a sudden, there's traditional Republicans have a fair amount, 46%, a great deal, 18%, nothing. But altogether, Democrats, independents, when you combine them, of course, together, America First, about a third say they have a fair amount. That's it. Less than a third even are willing to say they have a great deal. Meanwhile, you have 1 in 5 to a third of everybody saying that they don't trust them at all. So you're asking too much from people. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. They have lied too much. And when the top of the totem pole is telling people to shut up and move on, you can't just expect them to blindly trust Kash Patel to do what's right. Come on. You're hearing more from the Mexican government. You're hearing more from the British government. You're hearing more from the Scandinavians than you are from our government.
Epstein. It was worth mentioning that she was Obama's longest serving White House counsel. So the DOJ's release of these documents, obviously spurred on by Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, who have attempted to weaponize the release of these documents for their own political ends.
Okay, that is where I suspect what he said right there is what I suspect really bit Barnes, okay? Because it is not a secret. Charlie loved Thomas Massie. He loved him. I'm sorry. It's true. I mean, he's publicly said it multiple times. He's tweeted it. I mean, it's not like you had to be a friend of Charlie or a guest on his show to know that. He did. And he liked Paul, for the one you're talking about in your Paul Dance. He absolutely. Lindsey Graham was Charlie's #1 target in the U.S. Senate this year. And he liked Paul. I'm not going to do I got text message thing like everybody else, but I'm telling you, he wanted Graham gone and he liked Paul Dance. So what Barnes is saying here is that why isn't TP stepping out and doing the right thing? They endorsed Paxton, which I think was good because the president is dragging his feet. There's 2 reasons I've been told why, but none of them are good enough reasons not to endorse Paxton. Paxton has been there for him every step of the way. Paxton almost got removed from office because of it. Paxton almost got prosecuted because of his support for Donald Trump. All right. And people who would say, no, Paxton almost got prosecuted because he did this. No, just shut up. Politicians are corrupt. You only get prosecuted if you support Donald Trump. End of story. All right. Or if you run afoul of the Democratic donor class. That's how Gillum got screwed. That's how Gillum screwed himself. He took all of this money from Democratic donors along with Stacey Abrams. Yes, he was engaged in rampant criminal behavior that all would have gone away had he beat Ron DeSantis in 2018. He lost, wasted everybody's money, and then he ended up getting his door kicked in. That's it. So, I'll talk to Barnes, because there's friendly fire. There's an argument to be made that there is no reason to be, friendly fire in public. But I guess maybe Barnes feels like it's the only thing he can do, Yeah, David, are you tired of winning yet? Is Obama in jail yet? Where's the military tribunal? I heard Obama was going to be drawn and quartered, man. Lawyer up, motherfucker. Remember that? Sorry, don't get mad at me for using foul language. Mike Davis, lawyer up. Comey, lawyer up, motherfucker. I just took $3 million from Oracle. Lawyer up, motherfucker. Such a grift. You have to be an idiot to still believe it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to mock anybody, but you got to be a total moron to still believe it. There's no justice coming. They know there's no. You're the only one who still believes it. Sorry. C is Trump losing the plot. There's still time to fix it by Mark Mitchell. Trump and the GOP are cooked. And by the way, when was the last time Mark Mitchell tweeted? That's weird. Yeah. And they're not going to do anything that Mark Mitchell suggested in that op-ed. That was a fantastic piece by Mark Mitchell on Real Clear Politics. Fantastic. They haven't done any of it. It's not like they don't know what to do. Smart people have told them what to do. They're not doing it. You ever wonder why Dems never attacked Lutnick? Brilliant. Just brilliant. Exactly. He got conned. They set the trap. By the way, I'd counter that with, did you ever notice that if we were to pick the 3 worst advisors or advice givers to Donald Trump in the catastrophic mistakes that he has made in his presidency in about 13 months, have you noticed that 2 out of the 3 of them are fucking Democrats now pretending to be Republicans because Donald Trump promised to be the most Israeli-friendly president in history? Yep. One is at DOJ, and the other one is on your screen. You think Howard Lutnick suddenly became MAGA? No. It's public record. He did it. He is supporting Donald Trump because he wants to bleed the Trump stone for Israel. It's public record. And the other one at DOJ, number 2 in command, led him down the primrose path, led him into a trap with the Epstein files. They both did. This one led him into the trap with the tariffs and got even richer off of it. It's folks, it's unreal. It's truly unreal. Rich, haven't the Democrats already won through the redistricting anyway? Yeah, they have. It's cooked. Even if the VRA, did we get the VRA decision? No, we didn't, right? No, we didn't. Even if the VRA were to come down, guys, it wouldn't matter. It's too late. Like, they're not going to do, like, you guys got to understand, there's already, like, donors who set up PACs to support certain people. They've already funded it to the tune of millions and millions and millions, or they promised to. They're not going to be able to change all that shit up because somebody changed districts. And, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Republicans are spineless cowards. Seth Keshel actually had a really good piece, How We Lost the Redistricting War, on Substack. They're cons. Republicans are cons. Like, this is the thing. Like, I've said this 10 years ago. The election of one man a revolution does not make. Especially if that one man is not really prepared to take on his own people who are standing in the way of delivering on the promises that his movement supposedly stands for. They're cooked, dude. They're cooked. You see Wisconsin too, Thornton? Tony Evers? I'm sorry. At this point, I do kind of find it funny. I'm sorry. I do. The abuse that I've taken? Shit. These are greatly stupid people. and they don't listen. They think they're smart, which is the most incredible thing about it. It reminds me of the delegate fight in California over the changing of the rules with the California GOP. David, you're listening, right? I don't think Brian Jack was doing it on purpose. I don't. I mean, Brian Jack has a pretty good voting record, but him, Harmeet, the rest of them, they're trying. Well, Harmeet was obviously a head honcho in the California GOP at the time, and Brian Jack worked for the Trump campaign, and they were like trying to change California's rules, which would have removed a provision for winner take all. It was completely designed at the time. They thought Ron DeSantis could be the way to stop Trump. It was completely designed to hurt Donald Trump. Completely. I come out and publicly say, this is wrong. You're either lying or you're incompetent, to which I get a flurry of texts from you-know-who now. She has a different job, screaming at me and cursing me off. What the fuck are you talking? Why are you doing this to me publicly? Because you're wrong. Then this statement goes out. David, come on, brother. This statement goes out, and she leaves the last rule out of the statement, which told me she is doing this intentionally. Again, would it cost Trump at least 50-something delegates in the state of California at the time, based on the polling and the data at the time during the debate? It would have taken 50, 58 delegates away from Trump, something like that. And these people were claiming to be doing it in his name. What they were really doing was making the liberal areas that were going to vote for Ron DeSantis have a disproportionate impact on delegate allocation. And screwing over the true Republican and MAGA voters in less populated areas and less liberal areas. You can't tell me they're that dumb. I mean, maybe they are. But they were so dumb going into this districting war. Rewriting. Look at Texas. Look at what's going on Thornton in Texas right now. The turnout differential is just disgusting. And I told them this. You're gauging, your benchmark is Donald Trump's performance. You have never performed this well, especially with Hispanics. This is not smart. You're carving the state up all wrong. They didn't listen. Now they kick themselves in their ass because without Trump on the ballot, good luck. Good luck winning those margins among Hispanics, because right now you're getting your ass thoroughly kicked, boy. As a matter of fact, let's go to the crosstabs. Republicans, let's without leaners. Let's take, without first, then we'll do leaners. I'm sorry, Andrew, I'm going to remove you here from the stage, buddy. So while I have I was trying to I'm not taking a side here. I'm simply saying I think I know what Barnes is talking about. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Democrat candidate, Republican candidate. Let's go to race detail. Oh, my Lord. Without leaners, Democrats 53, Republicans 27 among Hispanic voters. You're not winning those districts in Texas with that. Let's go with leaners. 56-28. You stupid idiots. You stupid fucking idiots. I'm just the frustration level, guys, is like beyond. Like I'm over it. Like I'm just over it. Like you between that, they made that mistake. And then the second mistake they made overall is to ever think that Republicans had a spine and would carry through with this. Indiana makes a deal with Maryland and then Maryland reneges. Like that's textbook Democrat. What idiot, crooked Republican would ever take them at their word? The key there is crooked. See, they can't really do anything because they're bought off. And Trump didn't go to war with them at the time. Like, they're not afraid of Trump anymore. That's just the truth. These rhinos, the Bushes are getting this party back at this rate. Let me break this to you guys now. The Bushes are getting their party back at this rate. And then the party will lose in spectacular fashion. Again, as of right now, JD should just sit out, and you will see the numbers very soon. JD should just sit out 2028. Let the Bushes have their Marco Rubio, which the White House is going to betray him on anyway at this rate. Let the Bushes have their Marco Rubio. Let Marco Rubio get absolutely curb stomped by the Democratic nominee, because that's going to happen. And then Vance can come back in 2032 and say, I argued against all the dumb shit, and I told you so. That's the only path he has at this rate. That's it. There's no way you can win in this environment. You will see. By the way, until a few hours from now, we have never had Vance down. And you will see very soon. And it ain't particularly close. All right. Look at that. All of those gains with Hispanics pissed away. Pissed away. Gone. Look at all of the gains with black voters are pissed away. Look at that. If we look at voter enthusiasm by race, by the way, look at this. They're not coming out. They are not coming out. Not for you, Republicans. Not for you. Hispanics and Hispanic Latino are on par with black African American now. They're both really low, but it's going to be a white Democrat electorate. Yeah, and Paul, I'm telling you, I tweeted that. He brought that up. Like they flashed that shit in my face when I went there. They were like, oh yeah, according to you. I'm like, yeah, and I stand by it. We'll revisit it in 3 to 6 months, but I stand by it. All right, let's get to locals real quick and try to speed through some of these guys. And then I'm going to have to boogie here. Hope for better. Trump offered amnesty in his first term. How soon will he admit it's on the table again? Soon. It's coming. Well, right now he's going to, you know what happens here. Everything gets put on the side for, war with Iran on behalf of Bibi. Hey, gorgeous. In the midst of all this madness, we could get a voter file analysis episode for Alaska. That's a good idea, Dreria. Who are the voters that keep voting Murkowski on the first ballot? Who are the voters that are trending more Democrat? This is a good idea. I have a feeling the Senate race won't be the last competitive one, even if rank scam voting is eliminated. Well, right, but Lisa Murkowski threw the seat to the Democrat. It's gone. Dan Sullivan's going to lose at this. He's down right now. I'm telling you, you can't lose the national popular vote by 9 points and skate away. You can't do it. Dems going to Dem, toxic, much crispy. Oh, I see. It was just spam. Yeah. I love the poll you and Robert conduct. It was a bloodbath. That Tony Seltzer put the squeeze on people. Yep. Yeah. And I'm not doing it. You're not going to squeeze me, dude. You ain't going to squeeze me. Yeah, and then the alien thing. Like, this thing deserves more serious attention than anytime you're in deep shit politically, you want to bring up aliens. Like, think about it. Whether you believe in them or not, let's assume they're real. And they're obviously much more advanced than us, and they're constantly watching and observing our behavior. Yeah. How does it make us look that we do that shit? Like, it's completely stupid. Like, here we have this massive national security threat, right? Mm-hmm. Probably, maybe not. They could have squished us like a bug if they wanted to, I'm sure. But, if you're them, you're looking at them like this is an unserious, violent species that deludes themselves because they can't break their worldview. Like, they don't believe in things like the age of reason anymore. And like they're not worth it. Like, we can't have them have the power to split the atom. Like, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like, so I
would watch us like a hawk.
Yeah.
If I was a different species and I was,
oh my God,
I'd be like, yo, we need 24/7 watch on the clock.
Biden's war fails, 13 service members die. He starts talking about UFOs. Like, it's just unserious. Like, if you're them, God help us is all I have to say. God help us. Donald Trump keeps promising this, that, the other thing. Nothing happens. I'm reading comments. Nothing happens until he's in deep shit and wants to start a war in Iran. Then he's like, I'm going to release the alien files. Well, first of all, we all know that's not what you were going to do anyway. So pre-planning the next few days, will there be a book club? I'm starting to feel a little sick, actually. I hope it's not going to hit me, but I feel like congested. My throat hurts.
Actually,
Long reach, as long as I don't get sick, I do plan on doing a book club this week. Now, next weekend, I can't because I'm hoping to go to a tournament, a competition with my daughter. I really hope so.
The weekend after that.
No, it's not this weekend, the next weekend.
No, this weekend we're on.
Oh, well,
Next
I have to go to
weekend we're on.
Minnesota. You better hope it's not that weekend.
It's not.
Weekend of the 21st?
That's the next weekend.
Okay. I'll
It's the first weekend in March. You're good.
some of this I'm reading, I'd love to talk about publicly, guys, but I don't want to get a certain someone in trouble, so I can't.
Y'all know better. Y'all
Yeah.
know better.
You guys
I'm gonna
know.
call y'all out. Y'all know better. Just as soon as
Yeah, you guys know. You already know the deal. So,
You know
JD needs to say, if you go to war, I will run for my Senate seat. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I'm down with that. The sad truth is that Texas R's who are not voting are the voters that Paxton and Hunt need to freeze Cornyn out of the runoff. I know. They're kicking their own selves in their ass. This is how the establishment survives, Obelisk. That's exactly right. It's not the likes of Ted Cruz that are staying home. Yep. Rich, real friends tell the whole truth when you're screwing things up. Keep at it. That's right. You want my loyalty? Here's my loyalty.
It's the best kind of loyalty
It's the
you
best,
can have.
dude.
I care about you, bro. You're screwing up.
I used this example on Twitter the other day. Like, imagine if Mehmet II, outside the walls of Constantinople, had yes men bullshitting him. Just keep sending wave after wave. You know what? Just put the rest of the Janissaries into the wall. You know, Constantine's going to fall any second now. That they would not have conquered Constantinople.
Fuck that.
How about this? You can get through the chain in the Golden Horn. You can get around the city, go through the chain, just sail the Armada into the chain. Like that. Could you imagine? There was some people who were sycophants and were like, yes, Sultan. Yes, Sultan. You're the greatest Sultan. The prophecy says so, Sultan. The blood moon Sultan. And then he had loyal people who were like, Sultan, that's retarded. Figure something else out. And in his brilliance, by the way, Mehmet bribed the trading city on the other side of the Golden Horn from Constantinople. He carved out a path of the forest, used the trees to roll his armada over the land, and then snuck it in on the other side of the Golden Horn. It was brilliant. Brilliant. But imagine if Mehmet listened to the sycophants. Imagine if all he had was sycophants. No Constantinople for you. Which is modern day Istanbul. Are they ready for the PR backlash they're about to face when troops come home dead, is what you're about to say, right? Imagine Trump sent your kids overseas to die in another war for another country. It's like the worst possible thing that he could do. The worst. And thank you, by the way, for that tip, Joe, Joe. I'm the only one. I played Mr. Lonely as the entry song. I'm the only one left, Mr. Lonely. Agatha Christie, baby. And then there was one. I appreciate that sentiment, Joe. We do need your support now more than ever because that's just the way it is, you know?
If you guys want
accuracy.
real analytics.
We know better, Rich and Laura. We'll let you know we got you and say the things you can't say because that's where the country is. I know. I always expected, Andrew, that eventually, someone come for me. I just didn't think it was going to be that side of the aisle. I just did. I always thought it would be the Democrats. They were always the ones putting me on lists all the time, But the right is just disgustingly vicious. And you want loyalty? You want to talk about loyalty?
Yeah.
The shit. The shit they smear me with on Twitter day in and day out. You want my fucking loyalty? Are you kidding me? Here, I got something loyal for you. Loyal.
You're so bad.
Does JD, last one, and then I got a break here. Does JD understand how betrayed the electorate feels with the administration? That the middle ground never trusted the GOP? Does he get that, or is he out of touch? I think he does get it. I think he does get it. I just think, like, again, he's the vice president, guys. It's a lot of limitations there. I just don't like, I don't like his odds. I don't like his odds. I don't know how you navigate this. I just don't. Plus, they're all going to backstab you anyway and push Rubio, and they're going to leave you holding your dick in the bag when all of the chickens come home to roost. That's what I see happening at this point. And that's what I worry about for him. I think they're all doing their dirt, and they're going to leave him. And they're going to leave him holding the bag. Yep. And then they'll kill the viability of the most talented Republican candidate for president we have seen in a long time. Because he's articulate too, and he's young. Like, at some point, this is the thing with MAGA, and Charlie and I talked a lot about this. That's why Charlie could have been president. They killed a former president. They did, Tyler killed a former president with the help of unknown people, no doubt nudging him on Discord. But at some point, in order to complete the realignment, you had to reflect, and you have to look like your coalition. And all of this ancient, even pre-boomer, boomer representation in the Republican Party had to have given way at some point, and it didn't. So I think that I just don't see how they complete the realignment at this point. I think the realignment's done. I think it's dead. I'm sorry, I do. I think, well, let me put it this way, because in politics, nothing really lasts forever, but I think the likelihood that the realignment is dead is significantly higher. I'd put it at like 90-10, than the possibility that the realignment will complete. And the Trump coalition will get fractured off worse than the Perot coalition, as I have warned for a long time now. And that's inevitable. I think that's where we're at. Or all but inevitable. Again, as inevitable as you could possibly get in politics. That's sad, but it's true. Until the Mark Levins disappear, and the Shapiros disappear, and the Brian Killameeds disappear, and the lobbyist friends in the administration disappear, it's never going to become what it promised to be. And you can't keep a coalition together if you are not what you purport to be. You just can't do it. You can't. Nobody has ever been able to do it, because there's something called rational policy choices. And voters make them, whether you agree with them or not. They're still rational to the voter. All right, let me get out of here. I definitely am getting sick. Damn it, I can feel it. I'm going to go take some vitamins, get this press release up, and go get some dinner. All right, number love for you guys as always. Thanks as always for your support. Don't forget, if you like the videos, guys, to like them and to share them far and wide. All right. Best place, as always, to follow is on Locals, peoplespundit.locals.com. We're everywhere. Sign up, become a supporter. The link to the public polling project is in the description below. Don't forget, if you are a reoccurring contributor on the public polling project, please make sure that you are reoccurring in the correct campaign, which should be Q1 2026 polls. That's what it should be. And also make sure to check your profile if you have contributed, if you don't want to be a recurring contributor, make sure that you go in and change that setting so you're not just getting dinged every month. We don't want you to do that if that's the case. We don't want to take money that you can't afford to have taken. So please make sure to check that. You can go on Big Data Poll, simply reset your password if you don't know how to get in there. It's very easy. All right, everybody who's ever donated, just use your email that you used to contribute to, and you can reset it. What else? Not sure what else. If I forgot something, I forgot it. Keep your eye on the Locals feed and the Twitter feeds and stuff like that, because you'll see more polling come out, a lot more, as I'm sure you saw when we were in there before. There's a lot of stuff that has to be released. Okay. Number love for you. I'm out. Yup. I'm deuces. I'm feeling like I'm forgetting some, but it is what it is. All right. See you guys soon. All the best.
Let's go.
Hot date, yeah, hot date's
When
gotta
I just let you walk right out of my life. After all
go.
I put you through, you still stuck around and stayed by my side. What really hurt me is I broke your heart, baby. You were a good girl and I had no right. I really wanna make things right, cause without you in my life, girl, I'm so lonely, Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own girl. So lonely, Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own baby. Been all over the world, ain't never met a girl that could take the things that you've been through. Never thought the day would come where you would get up and run and I would be out chasing you. Cause ain't nowhere in the globe I'd rather be. Ain't no one in the globe I'd rather see than the girl of my dreams that made me be so happy, but now so lonely. So lonely, Mr. Lonely. I have nobody. So lonely, Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own girl. Never thought that I'd be alone. I didn't think you'd be gone this long. I just want you to call my phone. So stop playing, girl. Come on home. Baby girl, I didn't mean to shout. I want me and you to work it out. I never wish to ever hurt my baby. And it's driving me crazy, cause I'm so lonely. Mr. Lonely. Have nobody on my own. So lonely. Mr. Lonely. Have nobody.
I love watching it when it goes down, you know?
So lonely, so lonely, Mr. Lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely,
No, you do,
so
baby.
lonely,
That one. Mr. Lonely.
Lonely.